In the chaos of the post-World War II era, among the ruins of a world trying to get back on its feet, an extraordinary discovery silently emerged in the arid lands around the Dead Sea. In a small cave near Qumran, a group of young Bedouin shepherds stumbled upon a treasure that would shock the academic and religious community, the Isaiah Scroll, one of the oldest biblical manuscripts ever found. This discovery, which occurred in 1947, was not only an archaeological event, but a bridge between distant worlds, capable of illuminating questions of faith, history, and culture that continue to resonate in the present. Before proceeding, I ask you all to subscribe and comment with your opinion, or simply with an amen. Let's get back to us. The discovery began almost by chance. Muhammad ed-Dib, a young Tahir shepherd, was looking for a lost sheep near the spring of Ain Feshka, near the Dead Sea. Driven by curiosity, he threw a stone into a hole in the rocks, hoping to flush the animal out. Instead of the expected sound, he heard the sound of shattering shards. Entering the cave, he found himself faced with an intact clay jar containing an ancient manuscript wrapped in parchment, the Isaiah Scroll. What Muhammad found was just the beginning. Later, more vessels and manuscripts were discovered in what we now know as Cave 1 at Qumran, one of 11 caves that would later yield hundreds of manuscripts known as the Dead Sea Scrolls. However, the Isaiah Scroll immediately stood out, a nearly complete manuscript of the book of Isaiah, written in Hebrew, that would forever change our understanding of the Bible and Jewish tradition. Despite the value of the find, the Bedouin shepherds initially did not understand the historical importance of the manuscripts. For weeks, the scrolls hung in a tent in the Bedouin camp, exposed to the elements. When they were finally sold to an antiques dealer in Bethlehem, their value was still unknown. Only through a series of exchanges, culminating in meetings with expert scholars, was it understood that the manuscript represented one of the most important treasures of antiquity. Archbishop Mar Samuel, who acquired the scroll, subsequently turned to scholars for an appraisal. The manuscript finally came into the hands of Eliezer Sukenik, one of the greatest archaeologists of the time, who immediately recognized its extraordinary antiquity. After recognizing the value of the scrolls, Sukenik undertook a meticulous work of transcription and study. However, the geopolitical situation of Jerusalem in 1948, with the conflict between Arabs and Israelis, complicated the preservation and transportation of the manuscripts. To ensure their preservation, the scrolls were photographed by John Trevor, an expert photographer who created very high-quality images used for both research and conservation. In 1949, with Jerusalem still in turmoil, Mar Samuel brought the Isaiah Scroll to the United States in hopes of selling it to fund his church. This decision culminated in a curious moment in 1954 when an ad appeared in the miscellaneous section of the Wall Street Journal. The Isaiah Scroll was for sale. It was thanks to the Israeli archaeologist Yigael Yadin that the manuscript returned to Israel, purchased for the sum of $250,000, an extraordinary sum for the time. Using advanced techniques such as paleography and radiocarbon dating, scholars determined that the Isaiah Scroll dated to a period between 356 and 103 BC. This made it the oldest complete manuscript of a biblical book ever found, predating the Masoretic texts, which had until then been considered the oldest by nearly 1,000 years. The scroll measures approximately 24 meters in length and contains 54 columns of text, a faithful transcription of the book of Isaiah. The fact that it was nearly intact added a further layer of extraordinariness to the find, allowing scholars to compare its contents with modern biblical texts and appreciate its continuity. The discovery of the Isaiah Scroll and the other Dead Sea Scrolls has shed new light on the community that created and preserved them. The scrolls are believed to have been the work of the Essenes, a Jewish sect separate from the rest of the Jewish community who lived an ascetic life in anticipation of an impending apocalypse. Scholars have noted that the same scribe who copied the community rules, another important manuscript found at Qumran, may have made corrections to the Isaiah Scroll. This connection confirms the liturgical and religious use of the text within the sect, providing an intimate glimpse into their beliefs and practices. The Essenes, with their focus on purity and strict observance of the law, saw the book of Isaiah as a foundational text. Interpretation of the scroll reveals a unique perspective on their worldview, divine justice, and the expectation of a Messiah. Among the many sections of the scroll, Isaiah 53, known as the Song of the Suffering Servant, has attracted particular attention. This chapter describes a servant who suffers for the sins of others, is despised and rejected, and whose suffering brings healing and redemption. For many Christians, this passage is seen as a prophecy fulfilled in the person of Jesus Christ. Phrases like, "He was pierced for our transgressions, and like a lamb led to the slaughter, he opened not his mouth," powerfully echo the events described in the Gospels. For believers, this connection is not coincidental, but tangible evidence of the continuity between the Old and New Testaments. The Isaiah Scroll has not only religious value, but also literary, philosophical, and cultural. Its poetic prose, rich in metaphors and symbolism, explores universal themes such as pain, redemption, justice, and hope. Even for those who do not belong to a specific religious tradition, the text represents a reflection on the human condition and the meaning of suffering. Scholars emphasize that the Isaiah Scroll should not be viewed only through the prism of faith, but as a work that unites people of different cultures and beliefs, stimulating open dialogue on fundamental issues. In recent times, the Isaiah Scroll has returned to the spotlight thanks to figures like Elon Musk, who has spoken about it in terms of its universal significance. Musk stressed how the theme of perseverance and sacrifice described in Isaiah 53 goes beyond religion, becoming a symbol of innovation and human progress. According to Musk, the idea of facing rejection and overcoming insurmountable obstacles is the basis not only of faith, but also of technological and social advancement. Musk described the scroll as a metaphor for humanity's struggle to progress. He suggested that every great innovation or change involves sacrifice and resistance, but it is precisely through these hardships that the most significant achievements emerge. Today, the Isaiah Scroll is housed in the Shrine of the Book at the Israel Museum in Jerusalem, where it is kept in controlled climate conditions to ensure its preservation. Furthermore, thanks to digital technologies, the text has been scanned and made available online, allowing anyone in the world to read the words that had remained sealed in a cave for millennia. This transition from physical parchment to digital represents a further bridge between the past and the future, allowing global access to a cultural and spiritual heritage of inestimable value. The story of the Isaiah Scroll is a testament to the power of discovery and the connection between distant worlds. Born in the silence of an isolated community, treasured in the desert sands, and finally revealed to the modern world, the scroll continues to inspire scholars, believers, and innovators. Whether viewed as evidence of divine prophecy, a remarkable literary work, or a symbol of human resilience, the Isaiah Scroll invites us to reflect on our legacy and the possibilities of the future. It is not just an artifact, but a living dialogue between the past and the present, between faith and science, between tradition and innovation. And perhaps, as Elon Musk suggests, also a guide to face the challenges that await us.